you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet, baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
How are we doing out there all across this great land of ours and around the world? Globally syndicated, nationally acclaimed, the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos from Dryer Report. We are here to educate, inform, and engage you, our listening audience, and we're glad you took the time to join us this great Friday afternoon. The Friday after the Democratic debate last night, and we're going to talk about that to some degree today. We haven't talked about past debates because there wasn't anything worth talking about, but there is something that was revealed last night that is very worth mentioning, so we're going to cover that today during the course of our dialogue and conversations. We're glad to have you with us, and I want to bring on my co-host, partner in crime, Joe Hakos. How you doing, Joe?
Soon as they can get out. Well, they're not.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion.
Oh.
I am sick and tired.
Oh, I thought I locked the door. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go shut the front door.
Oh, that must be that little elf that keeps running around in the soundboard, screwing up our system from time to time.
You know, I can't believe it. She won't leave me alone.
We came out of the White House not only dead broke, but in debt. I am sick and tired. What difference at this point does it make?
Oh my goodness, she's everywhere. She's a liar.
She's a liar. She's a liar. Oh, yes, indeed. By the way,
I'm just glad it's Friday, John. But
yeah. Let's start off the show by mentioning something here that's very worth mentioning here. Just so you know, if you ever want to know where the real war on women resides, just go no farther than ABC.
Oh, I thought it was in Hillary's pants.
Yeah. ABC has chosen to exclude Carly Fiorina from the next Republican debate. Now, you would think, well, what's the big deal? Carly's, she's down there with the bottom dwellers. Well, the point is, she beat several of the bottom dwellers in the Iowa caucus, and she's being excluded, and the people that she beat are remaining on the stage. And think about this. Think about what this means. ABC is basing their criteria for the debate on national polls and what else? National polls and what the polls are showing in a particular state. In this case, New Hampshire, and Carly Fiorina is at the bottom in both of those polls. But in the Iowa caucus, this is the problem with polls. If you're basing things on projections, and if nobody's picked up yet that Iowa showed us that the projections aren't accurate, and instead of basing it on actual fact, something that you can count and look at and say, well, we have an absolute by which we can measure, Carly Fiorina tied John Kasich at 1.9% of the vote in Iowa. She beat Mike Huckabee, of course, who's out. She beat Chris Christie, who still is in. And she beat Rick Santorum, who was also out. So by all stretch of the imagination, one of two things should happen. Christie, Kasich, and Bush, who only won 2.8% of the vote in Iowa, should be going to the second-tier debate, or Carly should be allowed to grace the stage at the big show.
So Kasich's still in?
Kasich's still in, and who else is it? Christie had 1.8, Kasich had 1.9, Fiorina tied. They're still on the big show, but Fiorina has not even been asked to attend.
Christie's still in?
Christie's still in at 1.8. Yes, he's still in the big show.
Well, she whooped his butt.
Yeah, she beat him. And she's not being allowed to stand on the stage with the rest of them. Now, tell me that's not a war on women. Because what else could it be?
What, they're just going to let because they're sitting governors are more important than she is?
I that might be, but that wasn't mentioned in the criteria. The criteria was where they ranked nationally and where they rank in terms of the state that they're going to be conducting the caucus. Now, look at this. Rand Paul finished at 4.5% in Iowa.
That's correct.
He dropped out.
Yes, he did.
The other three dropped out. Huckabee dropped out. Santorum dropped out. Gilmore I don't know what he's thinking. He didn't even register in Iowa. He didn't have enough votes for him to even give him a percentage.
You want to know how many he got?
0%, according to
probably him and his exact wife. Amount of votes he got.
I don't know.
12 votes. He got 12 votes. 12.
Yeah, so
you could put his votes in an egg carton.
As soon as Rand Paul exited, Fiorina should have been allowed. I'm not supporting Fiorina. I'm not saying that she's a great candidate. I'm saying that these numbers tell me that this is definitely favoritism.
Oh, hell yeah. That's ridiculous. She should be allowed up there. Without a doubt, she should be. They're no better than she is.
Yeah, and with Paul out of the race, it's not like you're going to put more people up there. Okay, Huckabee, Santorum is out. Gilmore should go home. I guess nobody's informed him that absolutely nobody's voting for him.
Well, he got 12 people to
so
come on, John. Don't say nobody. There's 12 people that took the time to vote for him.
Yeah, with Fiorina up there have been 8 candidates. Without her, there's going to be 7, and 2 of them she beat.
Yeah.
So
it's absolutely not right. I mean, she should be allowed to be there.
Yeah, she received one
up there before.
She received 1 delegate. Shouldn't she get some kind of credit for that?
Yeah, yes, she should. She got 1 delegate, and Christie didn't get any.
Yeah, he didn't get any delegates, and he's up on the stage, and she's not.
What, we got to see the fat man up there?
Yeah, we're gonna see Mr. Cool.
We got to see the fat man look at the camera and go, "I am from Jersey. I don't take no crap."
Yeah, and then we got the. By the way, there's been a new phrase coined. I'm going to love this. It's a Trumper tantrum. I think Ted Cruz has coined the phrase with Donald Trump. Trumper tantrum. Apparently, he unleashed some profanities at his last rally.
Yes, he has. And did you know that Ted Cruz gave us Obamacare?
Oh, is that right?
Yes. According to Donald Trump, it's Ted Cruz's fault we have Obamacare. Okay. He wasn't even in the flipping Senate when we got Obamacare, but it's Ted Cruz's fault. Trumper tantrum.
Yeah. Cruz wasn't even in office when that was passed, right?
That's correct. But, a little thing like that, never let Donald Trump let that get in his way of going off on somebody because he's a whining little... Okay,
you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Us white haters with our guns and religion, we have divine intervention. We can just reach beyond the scope of the physical and just make everything happen just by concentrating. The Vulcan mind meld. That's what we do. That's what we do. Okay.
Yeah,
hey, we got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll kind of line up for you what we're going to do today. We got some things. We're going to talk about the Democrat debate a little bit because for once there's actually something there that is very noteworthy that we're going to talk about. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
The time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos from Dryer Report. Hey, let's start out with this stuff with the Democrat debate. I want to get some of the easy jokes, the easy to understand jokes out of the way, because there was a lot of them in the debate last night from what I've been reading. I didn't watch the debate. I have to be honest, I'd be less than truthful if I told you that I even knew there was a debate last night. which I didn't because I don't follow the Democrat stuff that much. So anyway, but there was, and some things were revealed that we want to talk about today. But let's get the easy stuff out of the way first.
Okay.
One of the things that Hillary Clinton was approached about, and this also took place the other night on, I believe it was Anderson Cooper, was the amount of money that she got paid to do speeches between the time she left her position as Secretary of State and decided to run for president. That in and of itself has been a bit controversial because one of the questions that Cooper Anderson asked her was about the fact that, this puts you in a bad light, the idea that you're out there getting paid to give speeches and then turning around and running for president. One thing that people in the past have not done is gone that route. Now, of course, there have been presidents that go out after their administration and do it. Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, and I'm sure Barack Obama will do it too. But the idea that it kind of puts you in a bad light, if not legally, at least it gives the impression ethically that you're not quite on up front about what your intentions were in terms of running for president. She said, well, I hadn't decided to do that at the time that I was doing it. Well, okay, typical Clinton answer. Well, that was then, this is now kind of stuff, But the other side of this is the amount of, she comes out, that was a common thread, I guess, in this debate last night was, well, everybody else does it. It was everybody else has put classified information on their private email servers, although none of the other people had private email servers.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
And also, let's remember that between the ones that she says they've done it, they changed the law.
Yeah.
Leave out those little facts.
Yeah, and let's also the fact that Colin Powell did it with 2 emails that he said. Now here's the difference. See, this is the difference between someone that can think rather intelligently and someone who just recites like a parrot. Colin Powell was asked about the fact that there were 2 confidential emails that had been sent to him on a private email email address, not a private email server, but a private email address.
There you go.
Okay, and what he said was simply this: they were not classified. And he said, I have reviewed those emails, and there was nothing in there that made them classified. Notice the language. He didn't say they weren't marked classified. He said, I have reviewed them. He said, first of all, they were not classified when they were sent. They have been classified since then, but they were not classified when they were sent. He said, and I have looked at those emails, and there's nothing in there that should have made them classified. See, that's different than saying, well, they weren't marked classified. See, Powell, he doesn't try to play it off. He just says, 1, they weren't classified at the time. Not that they weren't marked classified, they were not classified. And 2, I've looked at them and there's nothing in there that should have made them classified. The other one was Condoleezza Rice. I guess 10 emails were sent to her staff's email accounts. Okay, not her private email accounts, but private email accounts.
No. None of these were private emails. These were done on government frickin' email accounts. These were done on government computers, not a private computer, not a computer sitting at somebody's house. These were done on government computers.
No.
Non-secure government computers.
Right. Okay. All right. I stand corrected, and I understand that, and that's we're trying to make that clarification here. What we're talking about here is
huge difference.
And the situation with Condoleezza Rice was there were 10 confidential emails that apparently made their way through the chain of her staff, not to her directly, nothing she sent, nothing she received, but was between her staff that they had sent stuff, I guess, on an unsecured government server. Okay, so the big difference here, of course, also is the classification. The classification of confidential. Confidential can be damaging. It's not will be damaging or will endanger. Confidential is like, that's a misdemeanor. If you get caught doing that, that's a misdemeanor. You're sending out information that could damage something. Okay, not like a top secret was it secret access SAC? Was that the phrase SAC?
Special access program.
Yeah, a special SAP. I'm sorry, SAP. So, which will definitely endanger lives of people.
Oh yeah, it's grave danger. It was. Yeah, you're going to hurt somebody, or because it's actually names, or how you get it. It's how it's being collected. It's systems. It's programs. Yeah, it's definitely. And now each one of these things that you were talking about with Rice and Powell, yes, those are classified as security incidences, and they should be reported.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we're talking about, and they were done on, and the reason why is because they were on non-secure computers.
Right.
Non-secure equipment. Now, what we're talking about with Mrs. Clinton, who wants to conflate, excuse, say it's a right-wing conspiracy. Hello, FBI. Did you know you're part of the right-wing conspiracy? Congratulations. You finally made it to the big time.
Right.
So, yeah, unlike with hers,
well, now,
very, very highly classified information on private, unsecure, non-governmental equipment.
Right, exactly. So the email situation one is a stretch, as is everything the Clintons try to do to defend or deflect or distract, or spin whatever it is that's being thrown at them. You would just think, common sense would just tell you 50 years of scandals with these people, even if they're alleged, don't you think there's something more to that? People cannot be going after Hillary Clinton because of her record. There is no record. There is no history of her doing anything. So I don't know what it is. Like she's not really an opponent to the Republicans because she really hasn't done anything. So it's not like she's out there legislating and passing laws. All she does is just grab onto the coattails of whatever's around her, and she's like Ted Kennedy. This guy he was praised and lauded as one of the best Democrat senators ever. He served 33 plus years in the Senate. Everybody thinks he was the greatest senator in the world. I've yet to find, and I spent a good amount of time looking, I've yet to find any piece of legislation that he originated. He put his name on other legislation that other people wrote, including the health care bill here that Hillary's touting in the debate that Bernie Sanders voted against. He didn't originate that bill. His name was on it as a co-sponsor, but he didn't have anything to do with forming the legislation. And that's what Clinton is. Clinton is out of that Kennedy mold. I'll just join up with the winning team, and then I'll put that on my resume. I supported this, I supported that. She doesn't have anything to her credit that she has done. She hasn't originated any law. She hasn't established any policies as Secretary of State or anything else. So this whole idea that what she's got a record of is the most frequent flyer miles as Secretary of State. That's it.
Well, and we can extrapolate out now that Libya is one of the largest ISIS breeding grounds right now, and they have all kind of people just waiting to go to do jihad all over the world because Hillary and her friend Barack decided that they must get rid of Gaddafi and leave a big, huge hole there. So, the terrorists took it over. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hillary. That is an accomplishment. Thank you. Not a good one.
Okay, but she didn't have her hand in the policy decision that made Benghazi happen. She was there.
I'm not talking Benghazi. I'm talking about the fall of Libya because they got rid of Gaddafi.
Oh, yeah.
She stood up and said, we must get rid of the guy.
I agree. But
hello. I'm talking about the whole darn thing, not just Benghazi.
Yeah,
Benghazi is part of the aftermath of her.
Yeah, what I'm getting at is she didn't have any hand in establishing that policy. She was put there to.
She didn't stand up to Barack Obama and say this is not a good idea either.
Exactly. She just did what she was told, and that's basically her argument. When you really cut away all the riffraff, what the argument she has is, I was Secretary of State, I did what I was told. And that's it.
Yeah, now, you had no integrity. You had no integrity and no character at all. So and you weren't very principled. So instead of saying I can't go on with this, Barack, I'd rather resign than put up with this. I can't be a party to this. No. You went right along with it.
Yep.
She's complicit. She can't deny her complicity, as she's going to try to distance herself just as soon as she gets the nomination and wrangles it away from the 74-year-old Bernie Sanders, who's still trying to find his ARP card.
Yeah. By the way, I think he has the best campaign T-shirt that I've seen so far. It's like the top of Larry's head of the Three Stooges. It's just got the top of the head, the hair, the disheveled hair, with a pair of glasses, and that's all it is. And just says "Feel the burn." It's funny. It's funny. It's like great. Something off of Sesame Street.
Yeah, go read Mein Kampf.
Let me make one more point here about the speech thing here, because this is also very telling. She tried to play off the speech fees that she got by saying the same thing. Well, other Secretary of States and other politicians have spoken for money. They've gone out there and spoken for money. But what we find out is that people like Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice and some of these other people that went out and spoke at some of the very same organizations that Hillary Clinton did, none of them got paid more than $40,000.
Which is too much.
And that was including their expenses. Okay, it wasn't $40,000 plus expenses. It was $40,000 expenses included. Okay? So we're talking about between 25, Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice garnered between $25,000 and $40,000 per speech, airfare and ground transportation included into that, okay? What does Clinton get? Her starting fee was $200,000. Okay, and the one in question here, Goldman Sachs, the big organization, the big corporation, the big Wall Street firm that she says she's going to go after, paid her $450,000 to come speak at one of their events. And that was what was brought up in the debate. Well, how do you justify the fees? And, well, that's what they were paying. That's what they offered me. Okay, well, no. Why would you offer somebody like Hillary Clinton $450,000 knowing that she doesn't do anything? That the only thing you're paying for is the name Clinton.
And access.
And access to Clinton. Okay? And from what we've already know, that was somewhere along the line here, there was some talk somewhere, somebody had to be putting some money into the Clinton Foundation somewhere. Somehow, how they funneled it in there, how they hide it, whatever. But these are the conditions the Clintons move under. They don't just show up. What about that girl down in Haiti? The one that tried to hire Bill Clinton to come speak because he was talking about something needed to be done down in Haiti. And she's like, well, will you come speak? He goes, oh, no, you won't pay me enough. She offered him, I think, $90,000 or something like that. No, my standard fee is $500,000. And so he didn't show up. So don't tell me that so that's some of the light humor. That's some of the, okay, yeah, we understand that. That's a Clinton. That's a Clinton mystique, if you want to call it that, okay? But what really got into the debate, the real reason I even wanted to talk about it, was because we had made a prediction here, or we've been speculating as to whether or not there was actually going to be a Democratic brokered convention should Bernie Sanders win the nomination. And it looks like last night that kind of got blown out of the water. And so we're going to talk about that when we come back. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the exchange last night between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Who's the most progressive? Who's the real commie at the podium? We'll talk about that when we get back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference. Don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed-rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with my co-host, Joe Hakos, and we are getting ready to hook up with our good buddy, Bob Cardosa, over at Robert Cardosa Live, who's streaming right now the same time we are, and I think he's on our show today. I think that's the way that's the setup. We're normally on his show on Monday. He comes on our show on Friday, and we put him on a hot seat rather than being on a hot seat on Monday. So we'll get Bob hooked up here in just
Conservative Syndicate. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm doing good. Sounds like you guys are in a storm over there.
No. Well, not outside of the regular storm that's known as politics, but you know that. You live out here too.
You there?
Yeah, we're there. Can you hear us?
Okay, so listen.
Are you there?
Yeah, I am. Can you? Hey, Joe, can you hear me? Okay.
I don't know, Bob. Just don't know anymore.
Listen, did anybody watch the one-on-one debate last night?
No.
Did anybody listen to it?
No.
Did anybody read it?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yes.
I read. I went through.
The sad thing about reading it, guys, is that then all you can do is find out what they said that was not factually accurate, which was an awful lot of stuff that they talked about. Other than that, I got to tell you, I think it was one of the best debates that I've seen of all the conservative and liberal debates. You know, they actually went at each other. You know, we don't get to see that so much. When it comes to issues, when it comes to the conservative side, it's more like a sideshow.
Well, you don't think there was a sideshow last night?
Oh no! I didn't say that, but it wasn't. But at least last night, these people were at each other's throats over issues and disputing what they were saying about each other and about their policies and what worked and what didn't work. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with what they were saying, but I thought as far as a debate, it was probably the best structured debate that I've seen.
Well, in light of that thought, Bob, just think of it this way. Well, whereas just since the previous debate, it was all about being a Democrat versus being a socialist. Last night was a debate, who's the real socialist?
That's that. You know what? I guess you're right. I was more interested in the fact that both of them came out with these magnanimous policies that they were going to institute, the things that they were going to do. Neither one could tell you how they were going to do it, and nor would they tell you how much money it was going to cost. And both of them seemed to be stretching the truth to its limits last night.
Well, that's standard operating procedure. If we want to start at the comic relief. One of the very first commentaries this morning was, how is it that they let a biased reporter like Rachel Maddow sit on the panel, apparently alluding to the fact that Chuck Knox is not biased. So right at the beginning here, you got the idea here is that MSNBC is trying to change their image and trying to come across as quote unquote objective and fair and balanced. Kind of sounds like Fox News a little bit.
Well, it does. But the interesting thing is Chuck Todd does not like Hillary Clinton, and Rachel Maddow. I take it back the other way around. Chuck Todd, and Rachel Maddow. No, let me get this thing back. Rachel Maddow likes Bernie Sanders, and Chuck Todd doesn't like either one of them.
I'm not surprised, Bob, that you really can't tell one from the
other. You know what? I don't know what the hell's going on. It's got to be my age, or it's got to be Friday. I'm tongue-tied for some reason today.
I'm sick and tired.
Yeah, well, the thing is, what we saw last night. This is what we saw last night. We saw a change in the Clinton campaign strategy of trying to distance herself from Obama and distance herself to Sanders. Now, because Sanders has caught up with her in the polls, and in my opinion, he is the winner of Iowa. Just the fact that he tied her when he was 30 points down just 2 weeks ago, and now he tied her. In the national polls right now, he's only down by 2%. And that's a virtual tie. So Bernie Sanders won the Iowa caucus, and so Hillary is now trying to say, well, I'm really the progressive, and I'm the progressive with more experience being a progressive.
John, here's the thing, John. Joe, let me just make this thought, and then I'll let you guys talk. I'm sorry. The thing that when you talk about Sanders was really the winner, and he really was the winner, he lost 6 delegates by coin toss. What the heck kind of a system do we have where they toss a coin over a delegate?
Well, when you're a Democrat, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I thought you did that with policy, not like.
Oh, you know what? You do that at the beginning of football games and the start of overtime, and when you're at a caucus and you really, really, really need to get that delegate, you flip the coin.
Yeah.
Hey, you talking about Hillary trying to tell everybody she's progressive? Let's let Hillary tell us.
Well, I saw the coin. I saw the coin that they used in the coin toss, and on the heads was a picture of Hillary. On the back was her campaign logo. So there was no way that she could lose that coin toss.
It's a heads I win, tails you lose deal, right?
Yeah. This is Hillary Clinton telling us she's a progressive.
Well, didn't we have that the other day? Didn't we grow up with it? What was that old phrase we used as kids?
Well, I don't know. If you're going to talk over the video, I can't tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Progressive. Well, because I am a progressive, and the root of that word, progressive, is progress. The progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Very big progressive goals. I don't think it was progressive, particularly progressive, progressivism, progressive. And I said, I'm a progressive who likes to get things done.
Okay, well, there you go.
And that's really what it was. It was really, apparently Hillary thinks that there are other progressives in the Democrat Party, but she's the only one that can get things done.
Yes, of course she is.
Yeah, and even
and
on another.
And she knows how. All she's got to do is accept enough money from the right people, and they'll get it done for her.
If you really listen to Hillary Clinton at this point, she is actually espousing the same dialogue or the same narrative that's coming out of the moderates on the right, and that is, I can get things done because I know how to compromise. I know how to reach across the aisles. Everybody knows me. They know my reputation. They know what a swell gal I am and how honest I am and how much integrity I have and what a hard worker I am and how I've been fighting for everybody forever and, all that. And so, you could substitute Chris Christie in there or not Marco Rubio. He hasn't been around long enough, but put somebody in there like a John Kasich or a Jeb Bush. You got the same exact narrative. It's just... One of them
you know what the narrative is? The narrative is, talk is cheap and action is so far away you can't see it. These people say, I know how to do this and I know how to do that. That does not mean that they're going to do it.
Yeah, well, we were just talking in our show just before we came on your show. I'm still waiting. I've asked people this, for a long time now. We're still waiting for somebody to tell me something that Hillary Clinton has actually done. Well, wait. Tell me.
She took classified emails on her personal.
All right.
Computer.
Let's say. Tell me something that Hillary Clinton has done that's legal.
Oh, see, you can't qualify that after the answer.
How about what has Hillary Clinton done that was good for our country?
Yeah. Something that give me a piece of legislation.
She resigned as Secretary of State.
Yeah, show me something that you established and wrote as policy and got through. Show me a piece of legislation that you wrote and authored and got passed, and then show me how that benefited the country, either or. And I can tell you, you're going to hear crickets every single time. What she's got is the most accumulated miles as Secretary of State and a long list of donors. That's what she's got, and that's all she's accomplished. And
she's responsible for over 50% of the Clinton net worth today.
I'm sorry?
That and the fact that she is solely responsible for over 50% of the Clintons' net worth today.
And that is good for the nation?
No, I didn't say that. It's because of the speaking on her.
It is an accomplishment, and she's actually the only one who gets paid for more speeches now than her is her husband. So,
I guess the interesting thing is she has earned 75% more money on this campaign than her husband had ever raised in the 25 years of his career.
Well, yeah, that's inflation for you.
Yeah.
There's your liberal economics there. Keynesian economics at work there.
Yeah, well, the nice part about Keynesian economics is that she's a smart gal. She's not going to spend her own money on her failed election.
Well, that stands to reason. Yeah, that stands to reason. We got to go to our break here. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion here with Bob Cardoza over at Robert Cardoza Live, who's streaming live right now on his side of the microphone. So we'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
And we are back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos from Dryer Report, and we're going to try to back up here with Bob and finish up our segment with him today, this fine Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at right now. And let's get back on here with him. Let me make sure I got the right one connected here. There we go. I got to get the right one. There we go. Let's add him back up there. And... yeah, okay. Let's get him back
with John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Yeah, okay. Where'd we leave off at?
So what happened? Are you still there?
I'm still here. Are you
John,
still there?
Okay. No, I actually connected.
You want to know what happens when you ask somebody, Hillary Clinton, what's her accomplishment? What has she accomplished? And you want to know what they do? This is what you get from her. You get a lot of that. I mean,
you know what? You know what? If you ask Donald Trump, this is what you get.
Then if you want to ask, hey, what's that going on? Hey, what's Bill doing? You ask Hillary about Bill, and where's Bill at? This is what you get. That's
well, one of the things
Bill is actually running around the White House talking to these interns, and they're kind of responding.
Well, one of the things.
Actually, one of the things.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Enough of Bill. I've had enough of him already. 8 years was enough of him.
Okay, so Bob, I want to ask you, since you're on our show today, actually, I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
You said that you. Thought it was one of the best debate, or the best debate you've seen so far, because they actually talked about policy and stuff. Explain to me, in terms of policy, let's talk about health care.
No. Hang on again. You want me to? I'm talking about the actual debate structure itself, and the fact that the debaters were able to actually talk and debate and address themselves and actually respond to each other. Not that it's not that I thought that what they were saying was factual.
Okay, all right. You're saying the format.
If you want to trap me in that, I'll be happy to take the other side.
Oh,
okay.
The format.
Okay,
so you were talking about the format. You mean because there were two people and you could actually ask them the same question and have them respond to the same question?
Absolutely.
Like we're going to do it Fox. We're going to let everybody in the world join a debate, and then it's going to be a freaking free-for-all for 3 hours?
Well, I mean, it's kind of nice to have two people as opposed to 20.
Oh, my goodness, Bob. That's just insanity. How dare you?
Did you see what happened with the GOP standings now that guys are starting to fall by the wayside? I can't believe what's going on with Rubio.
Go for it, John.
Well, let me ask you this, Bob. Let's switch over just a little bit to the upcoming Republican debate that's coming up.
I'm not going to watch it. There's going to be too many people.
Well, in terms of structure, since we're talking just structure here, just format, okay? Content, we kind of know what that's all going to be. But the point being, in this particular case, Carly Fiorina has been eliminated altogether. She's not been asked to invite, or she's not been invited to participate in the ABC debate coming up next week.
Good, now, I don't like her anyway.
Okay, well, no, it's not matter whether she's a viable candidate or not. Here's the deal. She came in Iowa. She beat both John Kasich and Chris Christie. No, she tied John Kasich at 1.9%. She beat Chris Christie, who only had 1.8%. She came in just under Jeb Bush, who had 2.8%. Rand Paul has dropped out of the race. He was at 4.5%. He's dropped out. She has been relegated to the non-existent, non-essential personnel file, but Kasich and Christie are still going to be allowed to participate.
I think that's wrong.
Yeah, and so you tell me that there's the war on women is from the right?
No, you know what? I just think it's wrong, and I also think it's wrong for those bottom 3 or 4 people that they haven't even left yet. Let's get it with the top 3 or 4 people, and let's get a contest going instead of having them split the votes out there, and nobody knows what the heck's going to go on. We can't even get a meaningful debate because there's an army. There's a football field out there. That's what we're saying. We're saying that Christie, Bush, and Kasich should take up Mike Huckabee's and the other people, Rick Santorum. They should all be relegated to the bottom in the first debate during the day. You know, the preview, the pre-show, whatever. And then we should be left with the top 3: Cruz. That's right. Rubio, Trump, and Carson. Carson is still double digits. He should be allowed to participate. I'll tell you who I'm incensed at. I'm really ticked off at Ted Cruz for this dirty politics he pulled on Ben Carson.
Oh, that's not dirty politics.
Nuts. That's Ben Carson's fault all the way. Cut me a break.
Yeah.
that's Ben Carson's fault.
Hey, he's a smart guy, but he did a stupid thing.
What did he do?
You don't tell people in the middle of a campaign that you're going back home and you're not going to the next place they're going to have the contest in, and you're not going to do any campaigning for like a week. You don't tell people that. What did you want people to result?
That's right.
And besides,
he did not announce that he was dropping out of
He sure did, Bob. He sure did, Bob. I've got an article here that was posted the day that he did it. There was an accident that some of the people in his campaign were injured and killed, and he said he was going to suspend the campaign for a week because of that.
But he wasn't dropping out of the presidential race.
Okay, but it was still stupid. It was still stupid to do that. He should not have announced that publicly.
But Ted Cruz still told a lie. He was dishonest in order to usurp those votes. Oh, come on, you guys! Don't be blind. Don't be. I know you're smarter than that.
I know you're smarter than that. For crying out loud, there's a CNN report that was retweeted. by a staff.
And you believe everything you hear on CNN?
Well, apparently you do.
Oh, come on.
I'm glad we could have two.
I don't believe what I heard on CNN. I believe what Ben Carson himself said. I don't like Ben Carson.
I believe Ben Carson said, you know what, Ben Carson is just mad that he's a smart guy that did a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Well, the stupid thing he did was run for president. The guy doesn't belong in that race anyway.
Oh, yeah, there's no argument about that. He's in over his head. He's a good man. He's an honest man. He's got good intentions. He's in over his head.
Hey, you know what? Ted Cruz is an attorney, and you know how to tell when an attorney's lying. His lips move.
Yeah, well, but the point being is...
and I'm sure there's jokes about accountants, too.
No, there aren't.
No. Yes, there are.
No, there aren't. we can take any set of numbers and make them true.
Yes. Yeah. That's just awesome, Bob.
Well, the other joke is, the difference between a lawyer and a catfish, right? You don't? Okay. The lawyer is a bottom dweller, and a catfish is a fish. So
this is really bad now.
Well, yeah, but it's getting more accurate.
Well, anyway, the point being is the whatever happened between Cruz and Carson, they resolved. Cruz apologized. Carson took the apology. Cruz said we should have also turned around and retracted that. It didn't happen. We're sorry it happened. End of story. Now,
I'll tell you the dumb part about it. The part about it, it did let Cruz win Iowa, but it's going to cost him in the long run because it's going to besmirch. It's going to besmirch his reputation.
Yeah,
and that's why you see Rubio jumping up the way that he is.
Well, Marco Rubio is Rubio is jumping up.
Hey, listen! If you want to grow corn, you belong in Iowa.
Marco Rubio is jumping up where he's at in the polls because that is just the dynamic that's going on right now. I think a lot of people have bailed out on Trump.
There you go. That's why Rubio's moving up.
Yeah, and Trump has cut his own throat. He was and has been and will always be his own worst enemy. When you look at this, look at the numbers here. The Iowa caucus showed that conservative voters, when they show up, we will win. Trump went on a rise. Trump dumped, and Rubio rose. That means that those people who were, and when you looked at the debate, the last GOP debate, I was watching the study group with Frank Luntz. They had a room full of about 30 people in there. 3 people at the beginning of the debate went for Marco Rubio. At the end of the debate, more than half of them went with Rubio.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm not convinced that Trump wouldn't have won Iowa if Ted Cruz hadn't pulled the shenanigans with Ben Carson. I think it was all planned.
No, Cruz did what he was supposed to do. He pulled in the evangelical conservative vote. Now, in New Hampshire, he won't be able to do that to the same degree because there aren't that many evangelical conservatives in New Hampshire. So Rubio will benefit from that. Rubio will benefit from that as well as Trump. I don't expect Cruz to come in above number 3 in New Hampshire just because of the dynamics of the demographics up there. So
he's certainly not going to let out a tweet that says, I'm going back to Texas for a week, and I'm not going anywhere near South Carolina or Nevada.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to have Cruz send out a public release that Rubio is canceling his presidential bid.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we got to let that sit now because we're out of time on this side.
I was trying to get the last word.
You want to pick up Bob's show. You want to pick up Bob's show out there, guys. You want to pick him up at robertcardosalive.com. He streams the same time we do. He's streaming right now, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 on the West Coast, 6 to 8 on the East Coast. I'm glad you took the time to join us today, Bob. We'll have more to talk about next week because we got the weekend coming up. They got a whole weekend to watch all this bashing going on.
I'm looking forward to it. We'll have plenty of information for our show. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, take care, my friend. God bless.
All right.
Okay, guys, it's time for the Edwards Notebook, and we'll be back. Pay some bills. Stay with us. We got another hour coming up. Don't go away.
One of the major roles of government is to protect us from enemies both foreign and domestic. But now we need protection from federal government decisions. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, the Obama administration has positioned itself as a detriment to U.S. sovereignty and the physical safety of we the people. On one hand, despite a preponderance of evidence to the contrary, Obama has blamed gun ownership as a reason why people ranging from Muslims, illegal immigrants, and street thugs seek to kill or rob unarmed sovereign citizens. The president and other gun grabbers also ignore the fact that very few crimes against humanity are committed by law-abiding gun owners. To add insult to injury, Mr. Obama is trying to close Gitmo and has been releasing Islamic terrorists, most of whom go right back to their murderous ways of blowing up people, beheading others, abusing women and animals, as if that's not enough.
And the nice Muslim and the bad Muslim and the good Muslim and the middle Muslim and the high Muslim and the low Muslim and the Islam. I'm sick of it all!
Obama's fixation on fundamentally changing America with legions of illegal immigrants crossing into our republic poses yet another clear and present danger to America. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
We're back. Hour 2 coming to you live right now, coast to coast and around the world. Nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. And I hope you at least were entertained by our little stint there on the Robert Cardoso live show. Bob has a little bit,
John.
Yeah, Bob has a little bit different take on stuff.
John, you forgot one thing.
What?
We are universally loved.
We are what?
Universally loved.
Oh, universally loved. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, John, you forgot that part.
Yeah, I know. People really need to understand. We are the show that the Roswell dummies listen to.
Well, just 9 months after that, look who was born.
Yeah, I know. What was it? Clinton and Al Gore, I think, were both born in it.
Yes, that's true, John. I'm not trying to disparage anything here or cast anything out there, but
Yeah, you want to know what's going on in those deep underground bunkers out there is they're breeding Democrats. That's what's going on.
Well, I think underground in a lot of places are breeding Democrats. They're called cemeteries.
So we, anyway, let's get, I want to talk about one of the other things that took place in the debate last night with the Democrats, and it's a lot more serious than who's the most socialist and who's the least socialist. But
whatever. Yeah, I want to talk about at least one thing there, that being healthcare.
Yeah, well, they did. They talked about it was a battle of two words. Let me say it this way.
Go ahead.
I've been rolling this over my head.
Uh-oh.
What we saw last night was very much like everything else that takes place in the world of liberalism and progressivism. Hillary Clinton defined progressivism as making progress or moving forward. That's a nice canned phrase. Lean forward. One of the things you see on MSNBC on a regular basis in between their commercials. Well, they don't have commercials on MSNBC. What they have, I would say, public service announcements, and those public service announcements, of course, are elevating their pundits. You'll see 30-second spots of Rachel Maddow telling you what a great person she is, or Chris Matthews telling you what a great person he is, or Jimmy Carter was, or Barack Obama is. But they don't really have what we call paid advertisement. You don't see Doritos commercials on MSNBC because advertisers don't buy time there because they don't have the viewership that justifies the expense. But my point being is that one of the things that liberals do, and the reason they've been able to advance the narrative, is by deconstructing words and redefining them as something else. And I'll make this point right off the top. If you look up the word liberal or liberalism, in its original context, would have been more like a libertarian. That the original definition of a liberal was somebody who believed that government had no place in our lives. That's why the libertarians use that label, okay? But it's come to represent a social stance on government dependency for the purpose of liberating people from the oppression of poverty and socioeconomic oppression, all these other things. And so they've coined that word to mean something else. Progressive is the same thing. Progressive, you're moving forward. It really should be called regressionism, because what they're doing is they're going backwards. They're taking us back to tyranny and monarchy kind of thing, where the president decrees and everybody else just kind of goes along with it, that kind of thing. So, but they use these words interchangeably. And whenever people talked about the establishment up until last night, it was pretty much thought to refer to the Republican elites. And when we talked about progressives, that was really talking about people like Bernie Sanders, or people like Bill Ayers, or people like Barack Obama in some camps, progressives, liberals, wanting to go and lean to the left, wanting to move into a bigger government control over everything, nationalization, but we won't call it that, communism, but we won't call it that, Marxism, but we won't call it that. We'll just call it progressivism. Well, last night changed all that. Last night, Hillary Clinton jumped on, all of a sudden had this massive revelation, and I guess it was because she's getting her ass kicked everywhere now, is that progressivism is the word. That's the new word for the day. It's like Sesame Street. You can see Big Bird up there going, can you say progressivism? That kind of thing. That's where we're going with this now. And that was one of the things that really became evident last night. In the same vein, the word establishment has also become negative in connotation. We're just up to last night in the leftist camp, establishment was good. If you were establishment, you were on board. You were with the program. Today, it's the dirty word. And so what you saw last night was this attempt for them to paint each one of them as more progressive than the other and less establishment than the other. So there's an oxymoron for you. There's a paradox. How do you discount your past history as being establishment and redefine yourself as being progressive? Neither Bernie Sanders nor Hillary Clinton can really claim the title one way or the other. Except no, they can claim the title of establishment, but they can't both be progressives by the very definition of the word progressive in the eyes of real progressives, like the Democratic Socialists of America, like the Socialist Party of America, like the Communist Party of America. They're pissed off that Bernie Sanders is ruining their brand because Bernie Sanders, in their eyes, is also establishment. He claims to be a socialist, but he always sides with the Democrats. He doesn't have anybody else to side with. So he's stuck. And it's like Joe Lieberman being an independent, but he had to side with the Democrats because who else are you going to you're not going to get invited to any of the parties if you're off in the corner by yourself and saying, well, I'm going to vote the independent vote. Well, you're the only one here. So what's that mean? So
means he's an idiot.
Yeah. So I think that in and of itself is very telling. And now I think we got to kind of toss out our contention that we may have a brokered convention if Sanders were to win the nomination.
No, I think they're full blown. They're ready to go ahead and embrace the burn.
Yeah, I think that we were saying the reason they didn't want Bernie Sanders is because they didn't want that label. But now it seems like that's the label they want. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they are ready to just come out and say, okay, guys, it's time for a revolution. I don't know, but it doesn't seem the fact that Hillary's on board now with the idea of being called a progressive. Of course, one that gets something done rather than another progressive, I guess. But and it also exposes Barack Obama because she's saying she wants to build on what Barack Obama did. He did great things. I want to build on it. So if she's a progressive, she has now exposed Barack Obama as what he is and is claimed never to be.
Well,
what do you think, Joe?
Gee, John, it's not unusual to understand that the Democratic Party has been part of the Socialist Party for quite a while now. And that's the reason why there are so many disenfranchised Democrats who feel the party has left them, quite literally gone to the left, way left.
Yeah. And so what are they left with? They're left with Donald Trump.
Hey, cut that out.
Anyway, it's our short segment here. We're going to come back. We're going to we want to talk about Hillary's claims about her email situation here. Not a big deal in her mind.
I do want to get one thing about what Bernie Sanders said last night.
Okay, but let's do that after we get our break out of the way. I'll give you the mic when we get back. I'll let you talk.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, all right, guys. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right. General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Our water heater broke down last month. It was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
And we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, known throughout the universe as the final frontier. How's that for a catchy line?
And universally loved.
Anyway, we're back here. And Joe, you had something that you wanted to reiterate here in terms of the debate last night. You have the con, my friend.
Okay, so last night they had their little debate, whatever, and it actually probably was a debate. The Republicans have been having a forum or a free for all, or I don't know. They're certainly not a love fest. But anyhow, let's get back to Clinton and Sanders. And then last night, Clinton was pressed on. They were going back and forth about universal health care. And Clinton said, there's no disagreement on us between universal coverage for health care. The disagreement is where do we start from and where do we end up? Okay, great. Sanders went on to say, and I want people to kind of listen to what this says, and then I want to deconstruct this with John's help, what this is. So let me say this. As Secretary may know, I am on the Health, Education, Labor Committee. That committee wrote the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, by another name. The idea that I would dismantle health care in America while we're waiting to pass a Medicare for all is just not accurate. The Affordable Care Act has clearly, as Secretary Clinton made the point, done a lot of good things. But what it has not dealt with is the fact that we have 29 million people today who have zero health care insurance. We have even more who are underinsured with large deductibles and co-payments, and prescription drug prices are off the wall. So I do believe that in the future, not by dismantling what we have here, I helped write that bill. But by moving forward, rallying the American people, I do believe we should have health care for all. Now, that being said, Uncle Bernie, what the hell did we go through 6 years ago when we had this great bill that you take great pride in saying you helped author? Now, why do we still have 29 million people looking for our health insurance? Why do we have people underinsured with huge deductibles, Bernie? Why do we have co-payments that are outrageous and prescription drug prices that are just astronomical, Bernie? Why do we have that? Why should we give Bernie Sanders and his buddies another second to control our health care?
Well, I would say this, because you got to read into what Bernie Sanders is saying there. He's talking about his support for Obamacare, but he's also calling for what? Full single payer.
Oh yeah, that's what they really want. Full single. So in other words, what they did before, they took over the government control of the healthcare system, took it over. It's broke even worse now. Mm-hmm. And so what we have to do is let the government fix it even more.
Right, because
I get that part.
That's the progressive answer to everything. We screwed it up this time, so let's throw more money at it and expand it, and it'll work next time. That's how this. Bernie Sanders is taking credit for laying the groundwork for single payer.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's really what he's saying there.
But I want people to understand is they broke it. They broke it bad. Right. They broke it to the point where they knew that it was never going to work. They knew what they did wasn't going to work. The only way they were going towards single payer, which is the same thing that, I don't know, that little old real estate mogul from New York wants to have. Single payer. Who's going to pay for it? The government. That came out right out of his mouth, people. So Bernie Sanders, hey, youngins, Bernie Sanders says, yeah, You're going to have this. They broke it before. Now they're going to break it even worse.
Yeah, and one other thing.
These people are out to destroy our nation's economy.
Right, exactly. And one other thing that in the list of things that you just pointed out that Obamacare did, and this is not being played up enough, this is not being exposed or talked about enough. When Obamacare was initiated, you had 26 states join on to the state exchange program, and another 27 or 28 sue to stop Obamacare from coming in because it all involves Medicaid.
Yeah.
Okay. The money that comes in for the state exchanges come through the Medicaid funding. And what the federal government has basically said to the states, if you don't accept these exchanges, then we cut off your Medicaid.
Yeah.
And so now, as a state, John Kasich thinks that's a big deal. That's why he wouldn't do away with Planned Parenthood in his state, because he's afraid of losing the Medicaid coming from the federal government. And that is the argument that we should be presenting as conservatives. You know what? Let it crash and burn.
Yeah,
let it crash and burn. But
it's 10th Amendment or not, come on, cut me a break.
Yeah.
The thing is now what we now have a lot of these companies are not even going to provide health care anymore. They're going out of business. They can't do it anymore. They can't write the policies that meet the government mandate. And so now you have crazy crap like, hey, you need to go see your virtual doctor.
Yeah, and half of the exchanges now are shut down.
Yes.
And we've got about half of the ones that are still open are teetering on bankruptcy. There's not enough money to keep the exchanges going. There's not enough money that the healthcare industry is making. So everybody's just basically saying, you need to cough up more bucks. So what happens? See, I think, and I know you know this, Joe, Obamacare was designed to break.
Oh, yeah, it was designed to fail. They knew they couldn't do it. They knew damn well they couldn't do it. But it was open. It let here you go. It let the camel's nose under the tent.
Yeah.
There's a good Islamic reference for you, Barack. Thank you for standing up for Christians, Barack, the other day, who are being beheaded. That's okay, though, right? Because there are Muslims being beheaded, too. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Barack.
So you think you would the reasonable mind would listen to Bernie Sanders and say, why would you brag about this? It's a failure. It's a train wreck. Why would you? Because Bernie Sanders is bragging, first of all, to his base.
Yeah.
He's telling his base, hey, I can fix this because I can turn this into a complete government program, which you get for nothing. Okay, now that's a lie. That in and of itself a lie, because if they do that, everybody's going to be paying more in terms of taxes, if not deductibles and the whole other, or the program itself will be reduced to bare minimum, the original HMOs. When it was just, I remember a big debate I had with one of my doctors when I first started having my hearing problem and the Meniere's disease, which affected my hearing. And I remember my doctor saying to me that as an HMO, we are not obligated to make you well. And I go, what do you mean? He said, we are a maintenance organization, which means what? It means health maintenance organization. What we're here to do is to prevent you from getting worse, but we're not here necessarily to make you better. And now I remember those words exactly the way he put it to me. And I just went ballistic. And that's when I went on to a PPO. I went back to my job. I said, no more HMO for me. I want a PPO. Because the PPO, they try to heal you. HMOs just try to keep you from dying. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, isn't it great?
And so what you see with Bernie Sanders would be a single-payer system funded by an increase. And he says, it's going to be the wealthy to pay for this. No, it isn't. The wealthy don't have enough money to pay for this stuff. Okay, you take all their money, it's still not going to be enough. We Americans that are out there working are the ones that are going, you Americans that are out there working, I'm retired, but you Americans out there working are the ones that are going to fund this. And it's going to be an increase in your taxes and your deductibles, and the quality of the services you get is going to be greatly reduced to what? Just maintaining you in your present state. So if you're dying of renal kidney failure, we'll talk about, what do they call it? Quality of life issues. Okay, quality of life. How we can make you comfortable before you die. That's what quality of life issues are about.
Yeah, we won't worry about maybe getting you a kidney transplant or anything like that.
Yeah, we won't try to heal you. We'll just make you comfortable until you die. That's what HMOs are about. And so this whole idea, and then the other thing, of course, the preventive medicine. But preventive medicine is that's a gamble, and nobody's really defined what that means. Okay, take your vitamins and get a flu shot every year, that kind of stuff. So this whole idea,
evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration to diagnose, treat, or treat or cure any disease.
So Bernie Sanders and now Hillary Clinton is playing to the base. We're here to give you free health care. That's what we're here for. Obamacare has opened the door for us to come in and allow the government to pay for your health care. That's what they're telling them. They're not telling them the particulars, how much this would cost, and the fact that in and of itself would cause the system to implode. But by then, what difference does it make? They're in power. That's the whole game. They're in power, and now you're dependent on the government. Once you control the healthcare system, what's left?
Yeah, that was step one. Gun confiscation was step two.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look to 20s and 30s Germany, people. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you look at the playbook, this is part of that playbook. Tell people blah 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 blah, and it's like, yeah, that's right. And then let's pick on the 1%. In 1930s Germany, the 1% were the Jews.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying that Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are going to go out and kill all the bankers and everybody else? Those are the rich people, 1%? No, they're not going to send them off to gas chambers.
Yeah.
They are doing a classic class warfare game that's been played by totalitarians throughout history, i.e. the Hitlers, the Mussolinis, this Joseph Stalin, Uncle Joe is so great. And then you have all those guys, the Maos, all those. That's what they do. They will come after you. And then don't you when you finally wake up, don't you bitch and complain about it, because if you bitch and complain about it, they're going to take you out.
Yep.
Just because you were part of their little cabal at the beginning, don't think they're going to be there for you at the end. If you ever turn against these people, they will come after you full bore.
Think of it in terms of economics. If you become dependent on the government for your healthcare system, then what you become dependent on the government for is the subsidies to run that system. Now what you're doing is you're basically going to be working for the state. The state then determines the value of your life in terms of the collective as to what do you bring into the collective to help maintain and sustain the system that they've created that you're now enslaved to.
Are you
so now you're into Marxism, socialism, because now the government picks and chooses who lives and dies and what the value of the person is, rather than the value of the commodity or service offered. That is the difference between capitalism and communism and socialism, Marxism, whatever you want to talk about. The value is placed on supply and demand in capitalism, and in socialism and all the other brands of tyranny that are out there, the value is placed on the life of the person, and the government assigns that value. Therefore, you become an expendable commodity.
Yeah, so conservatives are the evil bastards around here, and because we hate everybody. But no, when you get down to it, you're just a number to the freaking socialists.
And I don't know what this idea, where these people get off thinking that I'm a lover of the 1%. I have yet to meet a really wealthy person that I thought was worth the money that they have. So, but I will always say, hey, they earned it. It is their money.
It's their money. It's their stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, where's my stuff? I want my free stuff. I want my free stuff, Bernie. Hillary, yay!
Yeah. Anyway, we're at the bottom of the hour here. We got to go to our, it's time for Dryer Sheet. I finally got this thing queued up, and we had problems with it yesterday, but we got it up for you now. Dryer Sheet, and we'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Hello, humans. Time to open the brain and remove all that static coiling. It's time to insert a dryer sheet. Well, 2016 is upon us, and America is in full-blown presidential election mode. And there is one thing that the media says is different this time around, that being Donald Trump. But is he really different? The billionaire real estate mogul from New York City, they say, is an outsider, not a politician. But is that really? An apt description of the mouth that is roaring? I think not. While Donald Trump might not have been elected to public office, he certainly knows what it takes to be in public office. You don't just vote, you buy your public official, which he has stated quite proudly over and over at his overbooked campaign events. The mouth of New York City has gleefully told us of his exploits of being able to donate to political campaigns. He tells America that it's all part of doing business. Well, that may be, but it is who he has bought favors from that should be a point of contention with the base of the Republican Party, of which he is trying to garner the presidential nomination from during this primary election season. He has donated to such conservative Republican stalwarts like Hillary Clinton, Harry Reid in Nevada, Charlie Rangel of New York. And when that becomes too much effort, the Donald buys a committee such as the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. Oh, wait, did I say conservative causes and candidates? Oh, I'm sorry, but my memory serves me correctly. None of these great people and causes are even close to being conservatives. That is strange. Wow, to hear the New York City mouth now, you think he's been on the side of the Republican base for decades, when in reality, he's been actively fighting against Republican base for years. Makes one wonder what has changed. Has the base of the Republican Party changed? Does it believe that making deals with the likes of Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, and Charles Schumer is the way to make America great again?
Well, I think that I'm going to be able to get along with Pelosi. I think I'm going to be able to. I've always had a good relationship with Nancy Pelosi. I've never had a problem. Reid's going to be gone. I always had a decent relationship with Reid, although lately, obviously, I haven't been dealing with him, so they'll actually use my name as the ultimate, as the ultimate of the billionaires in terms of, people you don't want. But I always had a great relationship with Harry Reid. And frankly, if I weren't running for office, I'd be able to deal with her. I'd be able to deal with Reid. I'd be able to deal with anybody. But I think I'd be able to get along very well with Nancy Pelosi and just about everybody. Hey, look, I think I'll be able to get along well with Schumer, Chuck Schumer. I was always very good with Schumer. I was close to Schumer in many ways.
I don't think so. While in 2010, 2012, and 2014, Republicans were overwhelmingly elected to go to the respective seats of office, many replacing Democratic officials. Donald Trump was buying influence and working against the base of the Republican Party. It would seem that the Trump money failed for the most part, as Republicans gained more legislative seats than in any time in modern history. Yet, there are those, despite claiming to be of the conservative persuasion, are full-throatedly supporting the mouth because he can win. The man has made this election about himself. Every twist and turn of his campaign is about him. He boycotts a debate because he said he was treated unfairly. He is going to get Mexico to pay for a border wall. He is going to make the Chinese trade fairly with America. Me, 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 me. Well, folks, listen up. This election isn't about Donald Trump or any of the candidates running for the presidency. This is about the people of Iowa, the people of New Hampshire. Most importantly, it's about you and me and your neighbor down the street and next door. This election is about all the people of the United States making deals, buying political hacks, and whining when some media type offends you, and then running down the street to use our nation's military veterans as props is not leadership. We have a self-absorbed narcissist in the White House now. Each and every day, I've heard conservative base of the Republican Party scream from the mountaintop that this nation is without leadership. Well, putting another self-absorbed narcissist named Donald Trump in the White House will not provide the leadership this nation so desperately desires. Are we so inept in reasoning that we will allow a man who has made no secret about who he is enter the White House and be allowed to operate the office of president in the same fashion as Barack Obama? But that would be okay because he has an R after his name? We can do better than this, America. We have to if we truly are to make America great again. Well, this dryer sheet is used up. Till next time, Stay static free.
These are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360.
We're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, the real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hickles from Dry Report, my co-host and partner in crime here. And, during the break here, Joe passed to me a statement. I guess, I don't know, it looks like you copy and pasted from an article.
Yeah, I did. It came out of...
This was a...
just a report from about... the Jeb exclamation point thing there. So it's basically it's from Chris Stirewalt from Fox's. He's their political editor, digital political editor.
Yeah, there was, in my moments of madness last week, I mentioned that Jeb Bush was marching out his family here, kind of like Ward and June Cleaver. Yes, let us know that the Beeve is a good guy, good kid. It's that Eddie Haskell guy in the form of Donald Trump that we got to worry about. He's the one that's up to mischief. And the reason I wanted to comment on this was Joe had sent this to me, and it was apparently Joe Scarborough, another MSNBC operative out there trying to, I guess, explain or kind of concerned that Jeb Bush has had to trot out his family. And Jeb apparently was, or somebody with the super PAC was trying to say basically that this was kind of an end game thing, that they had originally planned on trotting the family out towards the end of the campaign, but because Jeb is having such a hard time, they felt the need to do it now. And this is quite contrary to what I saw last night. That's why I wanted to comment on it real quick. I watched a few minutes of the Kelly File last night, and because she had on one of her groups. Frank Luntz has his group, but she has her groups, and her group are you can tell are operatives. You can just tell.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're mushy, softball kind of people, But she interviewed Jeb Bush in front of this group, and she asked him, she played for him an ad that this super PAC that Joe referenced here, an ad that they got out there with George W. Bush campaigning for Jeb Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked Jeb Bush, what is the deal about bringing George W. into it at this point in the game? And Jeb denied that he even knew the ad existed. Okay, he said because it came from a super PAC. He said, I wasn't aware that they were doing this. And he has to, with a super PAC, see, the difference between a super PAC and a campaign is he cannot avow any knowledge of what the super PAC is doing.
Yes, that's the legal statement that keeps him from going to jail.
So he first said, well, I wasn't really aware that this is what's going on. But then he went on to talk about how he loves his brother and he loves his mother and he loves his father and he loves the dog and he loves everybody in the family and this, that, and the other. And Kelly kind of painted him into a corner for a moment, just for a moment, kind of like she looked at him like, come on, Jeb, you're pulling our leg kind of thing. And then she let it slide. She didn't press it. But I just wanted to make that comment that he's telling us that he didn't know that the super PAC is doing this. The super PAC is telling Joe Scarborough, we hadn't planned on doing it this early. And Jeb is just trying to play dumb, fat, and ignorant. Like, oh, gee, I don't know all these people. But yet here he is standing next to his mom who's telling everybody that Jeb is too polite. He's just too nice a guy. And the point being, we don't need a nice guy. We don't need somebody that, just going to guffaw with, gee, gosh, kind of stuff. We don't need the Beeve. We don't need, Wally. We need somebody that's going to get out there and do something.
You know what else we don't need? We don't need a Bush.
No, we don't need a Bush to do that. We don't.
It's kind of funny. They were going to bring him. They planned all along to bring out his brother and the family towards the end of the campaign. And it's kind of funny. I like this statement at the end here. The Steigerwald writes out. Who would have thought that the end would be near for the former frontrunner Bush even before the first primary was held? So the end is near already.
Yeah, well, I firmly believe come this New Hampshire thing, if Jeb Bush finishes anywhere below number 3, in this particular primary, he stands a chance of finishing in the top 3. He does, according to, if the numbers are right, okay? But everything would have to fall in the right slot. Yeah. But if he doesn't, I really think by this point he's going to have to bow out. And I'm hoping that's what happens. We don't have to have
the thing with the debate thing will be a moot point. But here, check this out, too. Remember I was saying yesterday that Trump seemed to learn from his mistake in Iowa, and he was going to go ahead and have to press the flesh there in New Hampshire to because these people want that to happen. They expect it to happen. Well, the Donald here has reported today, this is on Red State, that Trump cancels all his New Hampshire events today, that being today, Friday, and he won't be around until he's going to South Carolina. He's done. He's done. He's going to head to South Carolina this weekend and New Hampshire primaries. What, next Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, so it looks like the indicator what we're looking at here. Then, if that's the case, that's a pretty telltale sign. Yeah. He doesn't expect to finish number 1 in New Hampshire.
Not at all. In fact, not that he doesn't expect to. He doesn't want to freaking earn it. I mean, he still could do that, I guess. Yeah. These other people aren't leaving. They're sticking around. They're not going to New York and go get pedicures and whatever. Come on. This guy doesn't want to work for it.
Well, it's snowing in New Hampshire right now. You know what that does to comb-overs?
It sounds a little like Carson. I'm not going there if I'm not going to get it. Well, Carson's not a
come on. You start forming icicles on the top of that head, and that's going to look like, you're going to look like Medusa, for crying out loud.
You could have events indoors, John. He could go to cafes and coffee shops, and you don't have to draw in 800 people into a 300 people room.
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know. It's speculation at this point, but I would imagine Rubio is the guy to watch in New Hampshire right now.
Well, he's the one that's surging, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, and then it'll be a dead heat for second between Trump and Cruz, perhaps. I don't know. It's going to. We're just speculating here. The polls in Iowa showed us after the caucus. The polls show us. It's a gauge. It gives us something to talk about and something to compare numbers on. But we probably don't know any sense of what the real situation is right now, and won't know until after the caucus is over. So, but maybe somewhere inside, somebody in the Trump camp said, "Hey, it's a little warmer down south. Let's go spend our time down there." So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, we got to go to a break here. When we come back, we are going to talk about the Clinton email thing here, but it's worth mentioning. That because I think the Bush campaign is on its way out, and maybe just having Mom out there telling everybody what a great kid she raised is their way of doing it. I don't know. So anyway, well, stay with us. We'll be right back here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live, daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decision concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. And we're back. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos from Dry Report. And let's get into this email situation here. It was mentioned last night. Hillary, once again, I think even more so than in the past, just tried to blow everything off regarding the email situation that she is currently under scrutiny for. And I want to do this. I want to just kind of lay out to you, just remind you. So some of these things we need to just bring back to your memory, lay it out there for you. Let's look at the standard operating procedure of a Clinton scandal. I mean, they should be writing books on how to deal with scandals. That if they want to make $1 billion, that's probably what they should do. And maybe they can get government subsidies to pass it out to everybody in their base so everybody knows what the game is. But normally, here's the process. Something comes up about the Clintons, and what they do is they attack the accuser.
Yep.
And or the investigative process that's behind it. If it's a government agency or a government official or somebody in the government, then there's normally an investigation of some kind, whether it's just a committee being convened or whatever, but they'll attack the accuser. It's the accuser that's the problem. In Hillary Clinton's case and Bill Clinton's case also, most of the time, the accuser is the Republican Party, the vast right-wing conspiracy. And in this case, with the email, it's the FBI, and it's the State Department. The State Department is overclassifying, and the FBI is making much ado about nothing, okay? And it's the right-wing conspiracy or some kind of bureaucratic ineptness, the incompetence at the bureaucracy level. The next, if that doesn't work, and it never has, with the Clintons, by the way, they've never been able to get past just phase one. It goes into phase two, and that is to apologize and to claim ignorance or our intentions were good, but my intention was good setting up the private email server, but and I'm sorry I did that. I did it because it was convenient. Probably shouldn't have done it. Gee, I'm really sorry. And by the way, I didn't know what's the ignorance part. I didn't know these were classified information. It wasn't classified information because it wasn't marked classified.
She hasn't done that, John. She's not apologized. In fact, she said, I have nothing to apologize for because I did nothing wrong.
Okay. Well, the apology is I probably shouldn't have done it. It wasn't the best idea. That's what she's saying. Okay. It caused a ruckus. And so I probably shouldn't have done it.
So it's not really an apology. It's just like, damn, I've
she's not apologizing other than that, but she's not apologizing because, after all, that argument is what? We go back to attacking, blaming somebody else. Everybody else has done it.
That's their argument. Everybody else has done it.
Oh yeah, they trotted that out this week.
Yeah, and so they trotted that out, and they'll continue to trot it out until it doesn't work anymore. Then they'll have to. But the big thing that the Clintons employ, and they do this very well, and this is why I think they get through a lot of their stuff, is that they just stick it out. They don't back off. They don't walk away. They shrug it off. They shrug it off. They shrug it off. They just, okay, I'm sorry. It's somebody else's fault. It's conspiracy. Let's move on. That's what she did last night. It's kind of last night. It was like, oh no, this isn't going to come down. The FBI is going to find that there's nothing wrong. This is simply a matter of things being overclassified and a big deal about nothing. And I've got better things to do. I'm not even the least bit concerned about it. I'm not the least bit concerned about it. Okay, so the idea is to stick it out. And the reason what the Clintons know that a lot of people don't pay attention to, we know, but we just kind of don't pay attention to, is that the media will only play a story as long as it's gaining attention.
Yeah.
Once it starts losing attention, let's get to something else. And so that's what they know. The thing is that the email situation has not gone away. It hasn't run the normal course of becoming old news because you've got an agency involved now that has some credibility and a reputation on the line. The FBI, if the FBI does not recommend indicting Hillary Clinton for security breaches and treason, if she does not get indicted, or if they don't recommend it, I'm not going to say it's not the FBI's fault if she doesn't get indicted.
Okay, hey, let me say something about that, John. I was just heard today about that. Remember, we were saying that they got to recommend it, and the Justice Department has to go ahead and convene a grand jury to make sure this stuff happens. Blah blah blah. I found out, and I heard today from a lawyer that was on. I forget what it was, but he said. Not only that, there is a judge that's been assigned to follow this particular case that the FBI has, and the judge could go and do that on his own and recommend it. So it could completely just go circumvent the DOJ and Loretta Lynch and her cabal. So don't necessarily have to have the DOJ recommend the grand jury. The federal judge could do it.
Okay. Okay, so all they got to do now is find a non-liberal federal judge somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. It was like, oh, well, there's oh, no, what are we talking about here?
Well, then what does that do? What happens there is, let's say a federal judge does that. Then, well, let's appeal to another federal judge that will undo it. And then we get into this big old thing of which judge or what circuit court and this, that, and the other. And what happens? Does it end up in front of the Supreme Court again?
Well, it would be.
And by then the election's over anyway. So,
well, the presidential nominee or candidate would have been subjected to an indictment, though. So she gets indicted. She's at the candidacy is over.
Yeah. Whether it completes, whether it goes to the end, whether she ends up in an orange pantsuit or not, it doesn't make any difference. If she is indicted, if the FBI comes out and says she needs to be indicted, it's done. It's over. It's over. The court of public opinion at this point will kick in, and even the dreadheads, even the people with IQ less than seaweed will say, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. This is not good. This is not good. You don't have the vast right-wing conspiracy out there saying she needs to be charged. You've got an agency that is, for all intents and purposes, as far as we know, still non-biased. Okay, and you've got an FBI director that is hell-bent on his reputation. And he's kind of like...
That was the one thing with the FBI director. It's been said that he wants this done right because he wants this to be perfect because this is part of his legacy.
Right. So you got his legacy involved, and you've got the Obama legacy involved here. Now, the last part of this, and we're going to spend more time on this on Monday, because this is really the crux of the Clinton campaign. If this comes to full fruition in any fashion or form, this whole thing changes next week. It's going to, because I think it's coming down in the next week or so. Something's coming down the pipe here pretty quick. Anyway, the next thing you got to do after you stick it out, you decide, okay, we're just going to stick this out. We're going to ride through it. We're going to hope it goes away, that the media gets tired of reporting on it. Now what you got to do in the meantime is you got to rally the base. And that's what Clinton is doing right now. She's trying to rally the base. One, she's trying to reiterate that this is just another right-wing conspiracy. On the other side, she's changing her ideology to match what is popular right now. She's turning into a full-blooded populist and saying, okay, I'm gonna pander to all the demographics out there. All of a sudden, she's so pro-gay marriage. All of a sudden, she's so pro all the things in the past that she has stood against as part of the establishment. And she's not the establishment anymore because she's a woman. She's not establishment because she's a woman. And the last thing, which I think is what really is kind of coming down the pipe here, is they got to find a scapegoat. They got to find somebody to actually pin this on if this indictment comes down, if the recommendation for an indictment comes down, or whatever. Either that will come or somebody in her administration, the top three in my book, Humeen Abedin, Cheryl Mills, and Jake Sullivan, one or more than one of those people are going to end up being fried over this. And that's why the State Department now is going into damage control. They're trying to distance themselves and say, no, wait a minute, we didn't really have anything. At first it was classified. No, it's not really classified. You know, they're playing the ping pong thing back and forth too, because now there are people in the State Department whose legacies and jobs and careers are on the line. This isn't Lois Lerner here. We're not going to claim the Fifth Amendment and just resign and get our pension. This is criminal, really bad. Okay, so this is a big deal. So I just wanted to leave you with that thought. We're coming up in the end of the show here because this is Friday. We have our special segment, our special closing segment, and then the end of the show, and it's going to take us about 5 minutes to run through that. So I just wanted to thank everybody again for taking the time to listen to us this week and every week, and go to our website, visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and we'll be back on the air Monday. God bless you all.
Be there.
All right, be there. Bye-bye.
Guide me to who you want me to help. Raise up more that will call upon your name. Raise up those that love you and seek you and trust you. Raise them up, Lord, raise them up. Lord, we need a generation of believers who are not ashamed of the gospel. We need an army of believers, Lord, that hate to be lukewarm and will stand on your word above all else. Raise them up, Lord, raise them up. I pray for unity among those that love you. I pray that you open their eyes so that they can see your truth, Lord. I pray for your hand of protection and guidance. Raise up a generation, Lord, that will take light into this world, that will not compromise when under pressure, that will not cower, Lord, when others fall away. Raise them up, Lord, that they will proclaim that there is salvation in the name of Jesus Christ. Raise up warriors, Lord, who will fight on their knees, who will worship you with their whole hearts, Lord. Lord, call us to battle, that we may proclaim you King of kings and Lord of lords. I pray these things with all my heart. Raise them up, Lord, raise them up.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all of our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's the conservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best and uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, signing off until next time, right here on the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.